25. After the initial clashes between the main battle fleets of the United States Navy and the Empire of Japan, the Japanese have mostly been reluctant to commit their heavy forces, which has led to a severe depletion of their cruiser force, while at the same time not causing the same kind of damage to the American forces, which has to some degree preserved the Japanese capital ships, but has stripped them oftentimes of their screens. One of the marauding Japanese fleets is still out in the South Pacific, and we have the Idaho, New Mexico, as well as the battlecruiser Lexington, hunting the remaining fleet here of 2 battleships, 1 battlecruiser, 4 light cruisers and 4 destroyers, which is trying to make a run for it back to Japan, but we will see if we can manage to intercept them. Other than that, the rest of the fleet is in urgent need of repairs and is returning to the Philippines. We are going to start working on the outer islands of Japan and try to send some marine forces there while the main fleet is repairing and refueling and rearming in the Philippines before we start attacking more of the Japanese mainland. Under the cover of night, the Japanese battle group has managed to evade the American pursuers, and with the low speed of our standard type battleships, there's no chance for us to catch up to them. Instead, we are diverting the force towards the Marshall Islands, where the invasion troop transports are on the way, and the first blow against the Japanese outer defenses is going to be enacted by the US Navy. While acting as the rear guard for the battle group returning to Manila Bay, the Evans, Phillip, as well as the mine layers Crown and Shield and John C. Butler have been ambushed by 3 Japanese torpedo boats. I've got them to form 2 lines, and it looks like we have found the Japanese. There are the enemy destroyers. I've got the John C. Butler and the Crown and Shield ready to launch torpedoes, as well as the Evans and Phillips. So we're going to get Evans and Phillips to turn, and we're going to get the mine layers to get their torpedoes away as well. So let's get torpedoes launched from here. We have launched torpedoes by Evans and Phillips. These are the 2 Wicks-class destroyers, so older ships, but they should be able to launch torpedoes from both sides, so hopefully we can manage some hits. And the 2 mine layers have launched their torpedoes as well, so we're actually going to get them to we'll stay on course. And we will see there's plenty of torpedoes going back and forth. So torpedoes all about the water, and we'll make sure that we get out of there. I'm not sure. Oh, Phillips is very low on fuel, so I think I'm going to detach Phillips here because she is actually much slower than I anticipated. So it's just such that Evans can run at flank speed, and Phillips will have to turn into those torpedoes because I did not anticipate her to be that slow. So we're going to have to do some torpedo beats here. Dodge those, that's not a problem, and we get the two mine layers to go up to full speed. Phillips has managed to evade the enemy torpedoes. Evans is at full speed now, so I think we can get, Philip is low on fuel, but I might need her guns, because I don't think we've hit anything with our torpedoes, and neither have the Japanese, so we need to get in and go for the gunfight. Let's disable the torpedo launchers for now, and see if we can catch these Japanese destroyers. Do have to be careful with Philip, because of her fuel situation. She can't run the engines at flank speed. The Japanese destroyers have smoked up, and they might actually be disengaging. Now the John C. Butler class mine layers don't really have the largest amount of guns, but we have to be somewhat wary of the Japanese having reloaded, because they might have their torpedoes they might have launched their torpedoes earlier. But let's get everybody's guns focused on the destroyer that we can actually see. Oh, yeah, there come the torpedoes. Okay, so they had the torpedoes reloaded, but that's not a problem. Oh, we have managed a torpedo hit, but it's been a dud, unfortunately. Well, let's see if Evans is pretty much the only one of the real destroyers who has the firepower to and the speed to actually take these on. The Philip does have the firepower, but not the speed. Whereas the mine layers are more there to keep an eye on them. But I think one of them has managed a 4-inch hit on the Japanese destroyer, caused a flood. That's good. And Evans is going in for a close range engagement, but obviously the Japanese are smoking up and maybe trying to get out of there. Well, John C. Butler and Crown and Shield, the mine layers that could. There they come out of their smoke screens. So we do have to be very careful now with the John C. Butler and the Crown and Shield, because they don't have torpedoes ready, and the Japanese have managed to sneak up on us in their smoke screens. So we're going to be going evasive, whereas Evans is going to try and get closer, see if she can get her guns to bear. Philip has torpedoes, but she's just too slow to make anything happen. And I think the Japanese also were out of torpedoes, so let's hope that it stays that way. Unfortunate that we had a dud this early with the initial torpedo run. And, let's get the guns on target and see what we can do here. So far, I don't think they've managed any hits on us, but we landed a couple of smaller hits. So Evans is going to go and cycle them. We're going to get the mine layers to follow suit, and the Phillips is just going to be kind of in the rear, trying to. She does have one torpedo launcher ready, but it's very unlikely that she's going to hit anything. I'm going to get her to target the first ship and see if she can get her torpedoes away. I'm not sure which side that torpedo launcher is on, but we will see in a minute. Evans target the lead ship as well. She doesn't have torpedoes ready, but she's got the guns ready. And that should be enough, because the Japanese boats are torpedo boats. They're not gunboats, whereas Evans has a decent amount of relatively small caliber guns, but at least a decent amount of them. So we get her to lead, and that's some nice hits from the Evans. On the Mutsuki, which is taking a beating here. In a stern chase on the Evans. So let's get the minesweepers to come around. Evans does not have torpedoes ready, but she is absolutely shredding with her guns. Let's drop speed to 27 knots. And I think the Mutsuki is about done for. So Evans is taking hits as well, but she's giving better than she's taking so far. And the Mutsuki is done. That leaves the Wakaba, so we'll get Evans to turn about, and we have the minesweepers coming in for their gun runs. They have the bigger guns, larger caliber. Well, let's see if we can if Evans can take on the Wakaba and land some shots there, while the John C. Butlers are giving chase. And yeah, Philip is too far away due to low fuel from that retreat action. Okay, I think Evans now needs to take on the Kuwa. while the other two are going to be focusing on the Wakaba. And we'll see if they can manage to do that with their guns, even though they have relatively small guns. But there's two of them. Okay. Evans may have... No, she hasn't taken a torpedo. Evans has taken gunfire from the Kuwa and is actually not looking too good. So she is taking on a lot of water. I am considering of smoking up and trying to get out of there with Evans, to be honest. But that is going to cause some instability, and she might have problem gun laying. Yeah, there were some over penetrations. I think, yeah, some main belt penetrations from the 3-inch guns from the Kuwa. Okay, let's get Evans to turn around. And we'll get her ready to launch torpedoes if she has to. The minesweepers are doing a good job here, taking apart the Wakaba with their guns. But now the Kuwa is coming for them, and Evans no longer can make steam due to the amount of water that she's taken on. And the Philip is kind of way too far back. We are getting a couple of good hits in on the Kuwa, however. I think John C. Butler and Crown and Shield will be able to finish her off. And with gunfire at point blank range. Yep, she sinks. Wakaba is going down, so they can now take on Kuwa, while the Evans is struggling to get the flooding under control. And might have to get Evans to smoke up. We'll see if she can make it out of there and get the flooding controlled, while the minesweepers are going in to finish the job here. That really goes to show that the Wix class destroyers are just outdated at this point. They are going to need their guns are not that great. They do have a lot of torpedoes, but in a fight with smaller enemy vessels, they are struggling. So as we can see here from Evans, but I think that destroyer is done. Yep, Kuwa is sinking. Evans has taken quite some damage, but has managed to survive. But we will need to look into getting a more modern destroyer going forward, and replacing the various classes of destroyers that we have here with more modern ships.